Alright, YouTube folks, feel free to skip ahead 1 to 2 minutes here. I wanted to make sure I went live at 7, because that's what I said I was going to do, but I didn't post about it everywhere yet. So I need to pull up my spreadsheet and post about my stream starting, and then we'll get to the usual stuff. I probably need to start a new spreadsheet soon. Scrolling through 572 lines of D&T data to get to the part where I can input is starting to get a little bit old. You start a sheet every 3 months. Yeah, that's probably about reasonable. Like my current stuff, my current deck list has things from December on. I think like December 15th on. So that's like going on 5 months. It's probably about time to do a new one. Like at that point, some of the decks have changed enough that the differences between, like, say, Delver in December and Delver now are small but noticeable, and like it's very possible that my data is just better if I start a new spreadsheet from like here on out. The reason I haven't started a new spreadsheet yet is like I'm dead convinced that within the next like 2 to 3 months we're just gonna get a Deathrite Shaman banning, and so I'll have like all of the pre-Deathrite Shaman banning data and then all of the post-Deathrite Shaman banning data. So like that's why I haven't started a new one yet. Is because like I'm pretty convinced we're getting a change in the format. So why like go to a lot of trouble to like change the way I'm collecting data if I'm expecting big changes to the format. Caught the human Stompy vid after the stream. Looks pretty fun. Yeah, the human Stompy deck was really fun. Just to like pull that up for anyone who didn't see it last night. My idea was to take the Soldier Stompy shell and supplement it with Thalia's Lieutenant and Quendi Pride Ephemeref, which makes the creatures you control that have first strike have double strike instead. We only actually did that combo once on stream, which was a little bit disappointing. But the deck was fine. Like, I had a lot of fun playing it. We did, I think, a 3-2 and a 2-3 in just a couple of hours. Like, I started pretty late. We did, 2 back-to-back leagues in time that it normally took me to do one. Okay, so hello everyone, my name's Phil Gallagher, I run Thraben University. On that note, there is a new article up. I have a guest tournament report from the guy who got second place at the European Eternal Weekend. So feel free to check that out later today or tomorrow or whenever you get around to it. It's a good read, and I found it to be a very insightful read as a fellow D&T player. He came to many of the same conclusions that I came to after playing in Baltimore. I'll be writing my own tournament report on that. That'll probably end up happening next week. But tonight I just want to like play some D&T. I got a user submitted deck list with a donation that I want to go ahead and try out. So I'll talk about this just a little bit, and I'll say a few more words about like some things I'm doing with the channel, and we'll move on and just get started. So I had a user who liked what I was doing with Shalai and the 3 Stoneforge Mystic build, and they thought it needed a little bit more aggression than what I originally had. So he suggested a split of 2 Crusader, 1 Avenger, 1 Wingmare in the flex slots outside of Shalai in order to like make the deck beat down a little bit harder and give you something that is a little objectively stronger to protect with Shalai's ability. And that all sounded reasonable to me. This is running 3 Stoneforge Mystics and 3 pieces of equipment instead of the full normal 4. So it kind of like takes away a tiny bit from the equipment package for some more beaters, which is probably fine. So other channel related things. I intend on doing a bonus stream on some point on Sunday. That's when I'm going to do the green-white stream. Although honestly, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do for that. Most of the deck lists I'm drafting up just kind of seem like bad Maverick. So I'll probably just jam like some tireless trackers and a couple of fun ofs into a deck, and we'll see how we go. I think I want to like play Shalai in the green build that I'm going to try out, just because like activating its ability seems fun. And I'll probably play a Gaia's Cradle for lols, even though it's maybe not objectively the best. I've got some things to think about on that front. I'll figure out something amusing to play for you all. Excuse me. Oh, Moxel, I don't remember if I explicitly thanked you last night, but if I did not, thank you for supporting the shenanigans that I did last night. I had so much fun doing that. I'll probably revisit, you know, Soldier Stompy rather than the Human Stompy thing I tried out. I'll probably revisit that again. I liked a lot of what was going on there. I don't know that like my Thalia's Lieutenant plan was the best. Like, it's such a terrible top deck, and it's a terrible first play. And that's a... Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's a terrible first play, and it's a terrible top deck if you're, like, at parity and you're in top deck mode. Like, as a mid-game top deck, when you have a few things on board, it's really good. But there are a lot of times where, like, that card was just, like, so much objectively weaker than something like a Daru Warchief, for example. Or just, like, anything that resembled a real threat. Yeah, Daru Warchief would have been awesome yesterday. Or, sorry, Aerial Responder. I feel like I've played this player. Rug Delver. Is this a good hand against Rug Delver? Good enough. Like, we've got double Mom to buy a ton of time. Oh no. I played a league with terrible planes. Oh no. I just let the deck list auto put in whatever planes. Punt. Punt. No, not far away. Dead, gone. So dead deals 2 damage to target creature for 1 red. Gone is 2 colorless and a red. Return a creature you don't control to its owner's hand. I think this is partially a response to all of the Merit Lodge decks running around, because it's an early removal spell for creatures, but that port is an awesome draw. That's going to help us bridge. But it also answers Merit Lodge. Do I want to play a second Mom or just port? It's tricky. Opponent did not shuffle with Ponder. I think I just want to slow down this game since I have, like, powerful 3-drop cards. My one Mom probably isn't dying right now. Yeah, I'm going to opt to slow down the game. Yeah, so it looks like my, that's bad for me. Come on, more land. More vial. Oh, man. Well. Fuck 'em. Mutually assured destruction is what we call this, chat. So this is turn 4. We've already seen 3 Wastelands. Legacy's awesome. I am drawing like a god. These lands are stellar. I don't think I'm gonna port this. I think I'm gonna leave up the Swords to Plowshares. If my opponent's only operating on 1 land, which I assume they're going to be, then I don't actually get a lot out of porting. I don't have like a follow-up Wasteland or anything like that. That's a shuffle with the Ponder. I don't really care if this gets dazed or forced. Like, both are good trades for me in terms of mana investment. I'm probably blanking some number of cards in my opponent's hands. Alright, my opponent drew a land for turn. Doing well, Sean. We're just starting a league with white Shalai taxes. That's a big fish. Don't actually care about it all that much. I think I just ride the Flicker Wisp value train here. Big booty angel time. Well said. Well said. So essentially, I just don't want to see Cabal Therapy from my opponent. Otherwise, I don't really care what they're doing. I've got them constricted on mana. I have a card advantage engine that is going to be well protected. Things are looking up. Bolts of lightning do bounce off her thick backside. Whatever you say, chat. Whatever you say. Yes, I agree. I am getting a little tired of scrolling through just like tons and tons and tons of arena stuff trying to look for anything that is like watchable. So I think my opponent probably has like a lightning bolt or a fork bolt or something since they made the play that they did. And like I made an attack in with a mom knowing that something like that could happen. So what do I care about them casting? I care about them casting Cabal Therapy. So I'll go ahead and just like nug this now. If they fork bolt me, like that's kind of annoying, but I'm still like really far ahead. Yeah, I have some issues with like Magic Arena. I don't enjoy watching that as a viewer. It seems really busy to me. And like also there are different format issues there right now. You only get like pseudo weird standard and limited, right? So there's not a lot of appeal to Magic Arena for me. At least currently. Maybe never because I'm a legacy player. Alright, so game one, win with double Wasteland. You know, that didn't seal out the game immediately, but that's what carved the way for an easy victory. Alright, so we'll probably go Paths in, Council Judgment in, we'll consider Rest in Peace. So what's coming out in this build? Revokers are probably coming out, and Recruiters and Wingmares are probably coming out. So that's 5 removal spells in, 5 creatures out. Still leaves me with 20 creatures, which is a little lighter than I want. Maybe in that capacity I should leave like a Recruiter in, just to like have additional bodies. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, Lord Tsar. It seems like they don't have the entry to it as a platform well managed yet. That's my thoughts as an outsider. Like, it seems like from a financial perspective and like user experience perspectives, on both of those fronts, it seems like it's correct to just like have a way to go and like buy into a tier 1 deck rather than just like buy packs or play limited to get your way there. It seems disappointing. Yeah, Moxall, everyone I know who is like playing on Magic Arena is like complaining about that. Would you splash black only for Dark Confidant, or at that point do you just go full Dega? If I was going to splash black, I'd definitely be playing Orzhov Pontiff. So if I wanted to play Bob, I'd play both Bob and Orzhov Pontiff. Rough. Mom going instead of the sword is interesting. I didn't really expect that. Well, Lord Darkview, it probably means they don't have an immediate answer to a mom in hand. And, like, they might have something like an Ancient Grudge in hand that could answer the sword. So I'm going to assume that when I get around to playing this sword, it's going to die immediately. Ugh. Statistically speaking, we're probably not going to get double mom protection now with 2 of these gone. So if the opponent was worried about double mom protection, well, they played around it. Ooh, opponent does not have another land. I like my odds. There's no need to jam the sword here. I just want to keep them from doing anything. Like, I know they have 1 land, so I can just, like, port them off that while continuing to make land drops. Tasty. Yeah. Thalia backed up by Caracas feels like so good in some situations like this, where your opponent is just like super light on resources. We're gonna hit this Underground Sea to prevent discard from getting my sword or prevent a Deathrite Shaman from coming down. Lightning Bolt the Thalia. How about not? Ooh. Is that gonna name Thalia and get the 2-for-1? Unfortunate. But it's not that rough, right? Like, if I top deck any creature, then this is all of a sudden insane. So what am I afraid of? Gurmag Angler? Gurmag Angler's still scary. I can keep them off of Young Pyromancer with my port. Like, I guess I can keep them off of both of those things. So maybe I'm supposed to, like, 100% shut off red removal and then just port them off of this. Then they can't use this to, like, bolt. No, I should get rid of the C. Like, I've already taken care of one C. They don't have that many left. Like, maybe one. Yeah. Like, there is some argument for taking out the Valk. Since my opponent left me with this earlier, they might have, like, Ancient Grudge, and my sword might get Ancient Grudge right here. Yep, okay. Geez, 30 seconds of lag last night? What the heck happened last night? That's strange. It's mostly been way better than that recently. Perfecto. So I can safely tap down this land here and not get my Thalia killed due to its taxation ability. So I'm a little confused as to why my opponent wanted to do that daze. since my opponent didn't float mana there, again, I can safely tap down this one without Thalia possibly getting killed. Thalia is such an innocent-looking creature, a 2-1 for 2 that doesn't have a broken text box, yet it's so good. That is correct, yes. Yeah, so I think I just value, like, double Rashad importing more than accelerating my clock. Alright, opponent packs it in. Ooh. It's a great hand. It's a shame you can't cast any of them. Alright. So, game 2 win with Port and Thalia. So in retrospect, I probably made a mistake in that matchup. I probably should have, like, boarded out the Shalai and kept the, like, Flicker Wisp and the other recruiter over it. That didn't occur to me at the time, just because, like, I was switching back and forth in between deck lists, but that was probably correct. I think Damping Sphere's best format is going to be Modern. The Modern player on Anurag's team from the Open was playing Lantern Control with main deck Dampening Sphere, and that was gross. It was really good there. Our Modern player was playing Bloodbraid Shift, and he kept having to, like, pay more for his stuff after the Cascade trigger. It was cute. It also, like, randomly shuts off things like Tron lands and the Storm deck. Seems good there. Yeah, I think the days of, like, super powerful artifact hate cards, super powerful hate cards printed on artifacts are probably gone. Like, we'll get some sometimes, but, like, anytime you print something reasonable on an artifact at a low mana cost, like, vintage players just go, a new turn 1 play. Oh, Sky Illusion, congrats on finishing the deck, and I'm happy to have you here. If you're not familiar with my site, Thraben University, you should check that out. I have a lot of resources that will be really useful for you as a new player. Alright. Playing against C. Baron. I don't know if I'm going to keep this hand. What does this hand do? This hand has a Lotus Petal, since I have the second Caracas. It has, like, weak Disruptive Element in Revoker. I don't have a target for this Flicker Wisp. I think I want to pitch this one and just try to find something that is a little bit more proactive. Like, if this was a Plains, I might keep this, or, like, if it was a waste or a port, I'd definitely keep it. But as is, I think this is just too weak, even on the draw. Or maybe especially on the draw. Ooh. New hand is great. Because of that Ether Vial. Alright, so we're probably playing against Turbo Depths, or one of the varieties therein. Yeah, so Sky Illusion, one of the things I say a lot is, like, the best thing you can do to get good at Death and Taxes is learn. The more you learn about opposing decks and, like, what your opponents are doing, the better decisions you will make with your own gameplay. Yeah, so, like, versus... I guess it's okay if this name's Aether Vial, because that means my Caractacus gets to go unchecked. So, like, this isn't the end of the world. And on turn 3, I can also, like, Flicker Wisp the Pithing Needle, and then, like, dump something in. So I'm not going to expose my Caractacus to Ghost Quarter until I have to. I think I want to get Batterskull. Well, we can take away this draw step. I'd love to draw a land. Wingmare's fine. I think I'm going to value getting my Batterskull into play and getting above 20 life more than putting this disruptive element into play. It's even possible that I was just supposed to hold that Caractacus in the hopes that my opponent just, like, main phase makes one. That is problematic. Oh, Basic Planes, thank you very much for your continued support. So what can I do? If I flicker this Pithing Needle to try to get aggressive with dumping in creatures, then my opponent puts it on Caractacus. I can play Mirren Crusader here, and then if I draw another land, I can just put Batterskull on Mirren Crusader and just gain so much life that, like, I can just beat through the Merit Lodge, because I'd gain 12 life. It put me to 36, and then the following turn I'd gain another 12 life, and my opponent would just be very dead as well. That might just be better than playing the Wingmare. And just, like, leave myself an opportunity to get just like super aggro. I think I like my aggro line. Yeah, Rex, so that's really close, right? But I don't know that I want to open myself up to Sajiri step. I think I'd rather my opponent Ghost Quarter my Caracas, turn it into a Plains, and then I go and flicker it. Like, that just seems sweet to me. Like, if I make them use this Ghost Quarter and then I get that value off the like, Flicker Wisp the Needle, I don't know that I can lose. So opponent now is considering whether it is better for them to just like make this right now or to wait. If they wait, a Wasteland bites them in the butt. If they do it now, a Flicker Wisp bites them in the butt. So it's kind of a wash. I would wait if I was the opponent. Like, he can potentially wait one turn. I don't know that my opponent can wait much more than that, though. I'm not sure what's happening here. If my opponent is going to go and produce a giant idiot, like, step one is to Ghost Quarter. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. So I can whack my opponent for 4. Flicker Wisp a Merit Lodge to blow up one of their lands. Or I can, like, go super aggro and Flicker Wisp Needle, tap Vial, put in Flicker Wisp a Merit Lodge, make them lose a land. I have 6 powers worth of flyers in the air, plus Mirran Crusader, plus Batterskull. They can't really afford to swing afterwards. I think I like that. No, I don't think I throw away the Germ token. Unless it changes the clock. So I can push 1 point of damage if I attack with all 3 of these. So that puts my opponent to, so at 10, 6, no, the attack doesn't matter. How could my opponent beat me? Let's play that game while we wait. If opponent has some weird main deck card like Glacial Chasm, they could maybe beat me. Otherwise, I don't see that happening. No, MTG Dog. I'm at 24. So, like, they. Oh, okay, that would do it, but they don't play the right in the main deck. Like, and I could also, like, if my opponent attacked in, I could also just, like, block if I wanted to do that and be safe. All right. So game 1 win with, I'll just say plenty of disruption. Like, we had disruption on, like, the Merit Lodge front with Caracas and Wisps, and then, like, the Stoneforge gaining me some life was relevant as well. Alright, so paths are coming in, relic order probably comes in, this recruiter comes in, council's judgments are a maybe. I usually cut my entire Stoneforge Mystic package here. Like, despite the fact that it was good that time because it let us get above 20, a lot of times it's a really slow mana sink in a matchup where you're often defined by quick plays. Lord Darkview, this was a donation deck, so it is a little different than what I was playing before. Maybe the Relic Order isn't good enough. Like, I think I like all my other cards better. Relic Order gives Pithing Needle and is tutorable. Maybe that's better than Council's Judgment. Sure, Shalai is slow, but if it hits play, it's very impactful because it will stop all of like the duress effects. So I think that's fine. This doesn't have any immediate action, but like it has a Vial and 2 mana disruption elements, so I think that's fine. Yeah, Lord Darkview, that's a really good point. Shalai stopping right is huge. I agree with my opponent's decision there. A second Sylvan Safekeeper. Well, so I guess I swords one, they let that go. I swords the second one, they sack a land, so this is like a 1-mana sinkhole. That's all fine. And then I have like Wasteland and Ports as follow-ups. Oh great, it just happens. That's fine. Alright. So regardless, that was something that we couldn't have played around there. Because if I wait and I try to Swords of the Merit Lodge, they just like sack the remaining lands to protect it. So, game 2, loss to double Safekeeper and Thoughtseize. So, if I wait, they have 2 lands left over, right? So I Sarge the Plowshares 1, they sack a land. I Sarge the Plowshares again, they sack a land. Like, they beat that. And they're going to make it immediately and not wait for my Wasteland to be live, because they know about it. This hand's weak. This hand is also weak. No, Josh, I'm not going to have time to do that. Like, they're going to make it immediately. They're not going to wait for my 3rd turn. So this has an answer to a Merit Lodge, but does, like, literally nothing else. I don't think I can keep this. This is my best hand so far. This hand is solid. Not amazing, but solid. I kind of have to hope my Thalia does some work and buys me time. I think I have to do double Swords to Plowshares that turn so that one doesn't get taken. Like, I can't afford to go, like, 1 and pass and just let the other get got by a Duress or a Thoughtseize or something. No, Josh, it's not making it to my turn. That's what you're not understanding. Like, my opponent will just do all of that interaction on their turn. Since my hand is weak, I'm going to get aggressive here and target my opponent's ability to produce mana. This will prevent them from, like, crop rotating or, like, using one of their tutor effects to go and find it. And if they naturally go and create the 2020 by, like, just having Dark Depths naturally, I can just hold back Flicker Wisp and Mom and cover it in that capacity. Okay, that probably will name Mother of Runes. No. Oh, Larry, welcome. We are currently in the process of trying to beat down Turbo Depths before they produce a Merit Lodge. I think we're doing a good job. That Avenger was an insane draw. Scry 1, we are playing Legacy. I am playing a mono-white control deck known as Death and Taxes versus a deck called Turbo Depths that tries to use Dark Depths to produce a 20/20 flying indestructible token as quickly as possible. That's comic. Alright, we'll see how good my opponent is. If my opponent is very good, they will know to copy my Caracas with their Thespian stage if they don't have another line. They are not very good. No problem, Scry1. I'm a teacher, so if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer it. I know some people just watch it, like enjoy watching Magic, just having something on in the background, even if they're not like overly familiar with the format. So I get a lot of viewers who aren't like Legacy experts or anything. Yeah, Lord Darkview. So if they have no other line to take, they just Thespian stage and get Caracas, so that they can bounce Thalia and potentially open up multiple mana on their turn to cast multiple spells. Like a string of like multiple tutors or something like that. Alright, so they have to have the right of consumption here, or they die. Which I'm guessing they have. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yep, okay. That's fine. Womp womp. Thanks, Moxall. I'll catch you later. My hand seems pretty good. On the draw. Is it burn? Yeah, it's burn. I'm going to get an absurd amount of value off this vial over the course of this game. Opponent is Landlight. That is going to make my Wingmare next turn very good. Yes, a Shalai should be borderline unbeatable. That is correct. I can just play Revoker as a 2/1 here. That doesn't really accomplish anything, because it's not going to be able to block the Swift Spear since they have the Bolt anyway. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and take this opportunity to cast a Vial. And I'll do that tapping my Wasteland. I'm not going to, like, wasteland myself yet to save a single point of damage or anything like that. Suspend cards require so many clicks on Magic Online. Larry, I did not place in Baltimore. I had a very mediocre weekend, unfortunately. I learned a lot and I had a lot of fun. I'll write up some of my thoughts in my tournament report at sometime in the next week. Well, opponent had a lightning bolt and they did not lightning bolt my mom. Okay. Yes, I agree. My opponent is probably not the best. Alright, so we win that one. We'll be on the draw for the next one. So game 1, win with Wingmare and opponent on 1 land. Alright, so we'll bring in Path. We'll bring in Canonist. And we'll probably bring in Council's Judgments and this Cap. Revokers aren't great. Crusaders aren't great despite killing quickly. Recruiters are a little slow in my opinion. You'd prefer to just like naturally draw things and play them. Maybe the Relic Order isn't the best if I'm not going to play the Recruiters. And maybe 3 Path to Exile is just overboard. Feels about right. Still has 21 creatures in it. Seems good. Baltimore was a great time. One of my losses was against Doomsday, which I can't really be mad about. Comboed off through Athalia and Wingmare to win Game 3. Wow, they earned that, Larry. That is impressive. I lost a game to Jesse Hatfield, who was playing a bug natural order deck. That was a hell of a good time as well. This hand is stellar. I have removal spells for creatures and like a disruptive turn 2 play. Do I just leave that idle on and jam the sword? Probably not. I probably swords here, attack with Canonist. Canonist will get bolted, and then I'll port my opponent. I will have fun being a bully. I'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by for as much as you could. Oh, Nerf Blaster, thank you very much for your continued support. Thanks for letting me do what I do and have a blast while doing it. Darasama, I have not resolved a Shalai in this league yet, although I've resolved it previously. It's surprisingly good. It does a lot of very unusual things that aren't necessarily immediately obvious. Exquisite Firecraft me. So I think I don't play the sword yet, and instead like use this turn to both Flicker Wisp and port. Turn up the lights, such as preventing my opponent from ultimating a Tezzeret Agent of Bolas, such as preventing my opponent from Painter grindstoning me. Fire Blast me. Ooh, buddy. No, Darasama, I don't think I want to splash green just for the ability. I think that will cost me a lot of matchup points across the board. Like, against decks like Delver and, like, Wasteland and Blood Moon decks. I think that's far more important. Alright. Opponent has done a lot of damage to me. Hopefully, like, draw into something that can gain me some life. I think I have to take the aggressive route here rather than trying to, like, double port them, because, like, they're going to draw an instant eventually. Yeah, Shalai would be a great draw. Smash the sword. Joy. That's okay, like, assuming I don't just die to, like, a Fire Blast to my dome right here, I'll have, like... Okay, fine. I was going to say I'll have, like, Thalia and double port available for the rest of the game. Alright, so we lost that one. We're going to play for the next one. Okay, so game 2 lost to high damage cards, I'll say, because my, like, the average amount of damage those cards did to me was like 3.5, right? Firecraft, Fire Blast, Searing Blood, Smash, Fire Blast. That was rough. Thank you, Darasama. Those comments mean a lot to me. They encourage me to keep doing what I am doing. I can't tell you how many people came up to me at Baltimore and just, like, introduced themselves and thanked me for, like, everything that I'm doing. It was probably like 24 people came up and talked to me about the site in one capacity or another. And that's crazy. It's awesome. It makes me feel wonderful. Lightning Bolt my Thalia. You bet. How's the mono black deck coming along? I haven't played it again. I probably should. I had some good ideas for making that deck better. Ooh. So do I just want to, like, hold up a Flicker Wisp to protect this Avenger, or do I want to use it to flicker out a land? I think I want to use it to protect my Avenger. This is sweet. This... Fire Blast Sarah Avenger in response? Okay. Deal. Why would you do that? Oh, Dr. Swampy, I'm glad to hear that. Happy to help. Oh my gosh, and no lands? Ooh. Opponent. Oh. I'm not gonna read that one out loud. That was good basic planes. Hey, can you imagine how dead I'd be if my opponent didn't, you know, like, Fire Blast away all of their lands so that they couldn't cast spells? I guess I can safely play another Wasteland, like, I'm very price of progress proof. Alright, I don't know what my opponent was thinking there. Like, that... I know no world where they can justify that Fire Blast play. Like, what were they scared of? Me putting Sanctum Prelate on 6 in response? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how their situation could be so dire that they can't possibly beat a Sarah Avenger. Like, there was something in the previous game as well that, like, indicated that my opponent probably wasn't the best burn player, but, like, what was their train of thought that led to that decision? That's what I'm curious about. Opponent last seen on Grixis Delver, although they played a little bit of Miracles as well. I'm keeping this. Don't question supervillains, Phil. Good point, Basic Planes. Good point. Do I just want to jam this Thalia? I'm a little action light, but if I don't jam the Thalia, I'm doing like literal nothing with my turn. The Vial resolved. So I could get dazed. I think I'd probably just play patiently and pass. Port the fetch land. No, don't port the... Yeah, I think I'll just, like, play Caracas and pass. Leave myself the ability to, like, either Swords to Plowshares or port down a land. Oh, it's a young Pyromancer. Since I have so little to do with my hand, I'm actually going to do something a little weird and, like, I think take a huge negative tempo play. I kind of want to just, like, not Swords to Plowshares, and then Vial in my Thalia, and then Swords to Plowshares this, so that it can't be dazed or forced. But if I do that, then I can't port my opponent. Yeah, maybe I talk myself out of that. If they force this, so be it. I'm going to try to keep them off of Deathrite Shaman here. I'll be leaving my Vial at 2 for a little while, since I have this whole, like, Thalia-Caracas combo going. Not that my Thalia is likely to, like, get killed with Mom backup, but Fork Bolt is a thing. We doing it. And it's resolving because of Thalia. Delicious. Delicious, delicious Shalai. Oh, it's happening. And we're gonna be able to, like, protect it with Caracas too, and Mom. That's a shuffle. Will we just get the concession right here? No, not right here. What are you doing, opponent? Why are you not wastelanding this Caracas? This Caracas is going to give you fits. Alright, if you have this brainstorm, why don't you brainstorm in response to the first Delver trigger? Okay, sure. No, I think my opponent's pretty good. Like, I recognize my opponent's name, so, like, I know they've gotten a handful of trophies. Like, if you like, search their name on MTG Goldfish or something like that, they're definitely going to show up with, you know, a handful of trophies. Alright, so playing against Grixis Delver. I was on the play or draw. I was on the play. And I win. Versus Learn to Love 6. Game 1 win with Mom, Shalai, Thalia. Alright, so 5 removal spells in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jazzy, I think you run 2 Shalais if you want to play it. And I think it replaces some of your other, like, generic beater slots. So you have, like, 6 flex slots in the deck. Shalai goes into 2 of those slots that are often occupied with things like Avenger and Crusader. So is Shalai good enough to, like, actually leave in? I've been cutting it. It beats a Delver, it races a True Name. It's a kind of a poor top deck, though. Or not, sorry, it's kind of poor in the early game, which is when, like, a lot of the most critical stuff happens against Delver. My gut says to go ahead and cut it, especially on the draw. So this is one of those hands where I kind of hope that, like, my first vial gets countered since I have a second. But I don't tend to throw back hands that have Ether Vial in it, no matter how bad they are. Especially since this one has, like, a removal spell, too. So, like, the ideal for me would be, like, this getting dazed. I found Batterskull has been bad in this matchup. I always draw it. Yeah, like, when you just draw the Batterskull, it does feel pretty bad. Like, it's a dead card a lot of the time. But Like, the merits of Batterskull are very good in this matchup. It's something that can help blank True Name Nemesis. It can gain you a ton of life as a chump blocker. It, overpowers a young Pyromancer pretty easily. Gives you another Flicker Wisp target. Alright, what do I want to do this turn? So my opponent... I don't know that I actually want to Path to Exile this Delver yet. As weird as that sounds. I don't know that I want to give my opponent a shuffle off their Brainstorm. I kind of want to Wasteland their Underground Sea and play another Aether Vial. And then, like, Path the Delver on the following turn. The Delver will flip and I'll take 3. But if they just, like, put back a bad card and they redraw one of their bad cards, I'm pretty happy with that. Yep, alright, opponent put back one of their best cards. Unfortunate. So my opponent revealed a Lightning Bolt, so I'm not just going to put my Mom in here and just let it eat a Bolt. Since I have the second Vial, I can tick 1 up to 2 and 1 up to 1 and force my opponent to hold up that Bolt again. Not an obvious play, but a very important one. Alright, so what's going on with this Delver? So this is either a creature or a land. I don't think I want my opponent to have either of those things. Like, if it's a land, that gives them, you know, another color. If it's a creature, it's a threat. So I think I'm going to go ahead and Path now. If my opponent holds up this Valk again, I might just not put the Mom in again, take a Vial up to 3, and then, like, put in a Mom with Flicker Wisp protection the following turn. Wow, this game is going, like, very interestingly. They give up and just bolt me. That's awesome. Or it means they have another bolt. Valimars, I knew they had a lightning bolt, so that's why I did not do that. Do I just go for broke here and get Jitte and try to win the game? I don't think I do. I think I play that patiently and just do it end of turn. I don't know. They have to have force blue card in two of their 3 remaining cards. Like I can beat Days. I'm doing it. The upside is just like so absurdly high if this works. Yeah, if they have an angler, you know, so be it. Rob, you've missed what matches against Burn and Turbo Depths, and then we're currently playing against Grixis Delver. There was some merit in moving the Jitte to the Stoneforge there for just this reason. But if I moved the Jitte preemptively, then I wouldn't get to port my opponent off of black, which I think matters way more. Whew. Okay. I feel okay about the top deck war, though. You get to flip it to a lightning bolt. Nope, you get to flip it to a ponder. That is not a lightning bolt. That is not a shuffle. Oh, okay, so they're just accepting a black source for turn. You want to attack? Am I okay with this trade? If I don't take the trade, I just, like, take a turn off, play Mom, and then I'm much safer. But if my opponent accepts the trade, then, like, I equip Mom, and I just have my opponent on a two-turn clock from, like, the Mom itself. It'd be a little annoying if they played something like a True Name Nemesis, though. Thinking. I guess if my opponent has something like an Ancient Grudge on top of their library, I do want to just, like, make this attack. So I'll go ahead and do that and get while the getting is good. Alright, so opponent knows their top two cards from the Brainstorm, so they just conceded to the Mom, knowing that, like, they're just, like, dead on board to it. So Mean Fanny Pack, I know they don't have a Bolt on top because they played a land on their turn. If they had a Bolt on top, they would have taken the Bolt and bolted my Sarah Avenger and attacked me for 3, and then drawn the land on their next turn. So I'm relatively confident they do not have Bolt. All right. So I was on the draw there, and I win. Okay, so game to win by trading resources and then sticking Jitte. Opponent's hand was really close to being insane. Like, if they had stuck a threat before going on that string of just killing my creatures with red removal spells, and they had been attacking me while doing that, it would have been hard for me to catch up. But I leveraged tempo pretty well that game. So for anyone who read my article from today, that was a guest tournament report from the guy who got second at the European Eternal Weekend. The thing that he said for, like, repeatedly was that Sarah Avenger had just overperformed all weekend. Like he just kept mentioning this card over and over and over again. So it has he's probably convinced me that I should have Sarah Avengers in my lists in the current metagame. I was sort of on the fence about it, but he had a lot of good things to say about Sarah Avenger, and I agreed with most of his points. All right, folks, I'm going to take 30 seconds here and run to the restroom to refill my water bottle. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat, and I'll field them when I get back. I'll be right back. What was the reasoning for cutting a Stoneforge Mystic? So this was a donation deck list. This was a deck based on, I think it was this one. Nope, not this one. What, Shalai V3? V1? Oh, it was V2, which I don't have up. Okay, so a previous version of this deck I ran tried out decreasing the Stoneforge Mystic package, and it had 3 Stoneforges and just Jitte and sort of Fire and Ice as a way to like hedge against equipment sometimes not being the best thing in the current metagame, but still being very important to certain matchups. And so this is a continuation of that reasoning. But this deck list, you know, begrudgingly plays the Batterskull because it's so important to matchups, especially Grixis Delver. So what do I think of Harsh Mentor? Generally speaking, I think that Harsh Mentor is unplayable in a deck like Death and Taxes. Death and Taxes is a control deck, and you want to be playing control cards. Harsh Mentor is really like some sort of aggro or tempo card, and without proper support and without other cards doing the same sorts of things that Harsh Mentor is doing, I don't think that's good enough. Like, if Burn isn't going to play Harsh Mentor, and they're all about that lifestyle and that general, like, red, get 'em dead life, if they're not going to do it, I don't think it's going to be good in D&T either. All right, so, folks, we're currently 3-1 going into our last round here. Let's see how we do. Yeah, Repsoy, I don't know if it's, like, the best idea in the world, cutting a Stoneforge Mystic. But there are problems with equipment in the current metagame due to the prevalence of main deck answers like Abrupt Decay and Culligan's Command. But at the same time, the equipment just wins so many games, especially against Grixis Delver, that trimming a Stoneforge Mystic is probably acceptable in some cases, especially if you're playing recruiters that can find them as well. It's one of those problems to think about. Compacted D, I think that's an entirely different deck, and that's something I've been thinking about as well. I wonder if I can play a mono-red, like, Death and Taxes deck that plays, like, Eidolon, Harsh Mentor, Pyrostatic Pillar, Sulfuric Vortex, that sort of stuff. I've been thinking about that for a long time, but I think it's just, like, worse than Burn. Oh, and the other Eidolon that has, like, that has haste and is 3 mana and has renown. Scab Clan Berserker. What if you trim a Stoneforge Mystic for a second Jitte or another piece of hardware? There have been a couple of people who have been trying out various swords in the main deck over the Batterskull, most notably like Sword of Light and Shadow. But I don't love Sword of Light and Shadow in the Deathrite Shaman world, right? Like, again, trying to get incidental value from your graveyard when one of the most prevalent creatures in the format is, you know, an anti-graveyard card. That doesn't feel appealing to me. I think it's Zuzu the Punisher? Zuzo? Something like that? Then wasn't there some card that, like, punishes your opponent for making land drops? Like Cunning Ignis? I don't know, like, what the restrictions on that card were, but I remember it, like, being good against, like, the Valakut decks in Standard. Zozu. Okay. No, there's not a red-black sword. Ugh. I'm gonna keep this one. I think my opponent plays Delver. Yeah. Yeah, Compacta D, if you ever put any, like, real work into that archetype, let me know and I will be happy to help. Because I'm super interested in that idea conceptually. Like, I think it theoretically has legs. These Delvers not flipping would be a huge boon to my win percentage. Daggers. Tunnel Ignis. Yes, thank you. Okay. So I know my opponent has a Brainstorm, so if I just try to, like, block this Tarmogoyf mid-combat and just, like, take it out, that's not going to work for me. So I missed 2 points of damage with an attack there. So that was stupid of me. Although, honestly, I might end up chump blocking with the Thalia. Especially if my opponent plays a sorcery. Yeah, that match against Goblins was super fun. Alright. Is this the point where I chump block the Tarmogoyf with Thalia? If I take 6, I go to 2, and then I die to the Delver. Yeah, I probably just chump block with Thalia this turn. There was no shuffle with the Ponder, which is a bad sign for me. Alright, land is very good. Means I'm still in this. Super unfortunate. So I played the Revoker intending to chump block with it, but it happened to also grow the Tarmogoyf to a 5/6, meaning I couldn't just take that hit. So now I think I'm just like on borderline 0 outs, especially if my opponent can like produce another creature. Yep. That's so unfortunate. So if I had played the Thalia, Thalia would have jump blocked here. I would have traded with the Delver. I'd be at 5 life, the Tarmogoyf would be a 4. I'd play the Plains and the Batterskull on the following turn. I'd chump block Tarmogoyf. I'd get a Stoneforge, get another piece of equipment. Yeah, if I had played that Thalia, I might have been able to get there. But I don't think I could have beaten. I don't know. I don't know if I actually get there as a whole. So these are the cards I'll consider. Revoker's bad as a whole. Probably board out Wingmare in anticipation of some sort of like Dread of Night, Golgari Charm type stuff. I still probably board this out, but it's close. Chat, what do you think of the Council's judgment? I'm leaning towards not Council's judgment. To just keep my creature count higher. Because my creature count's at 20, and I don't really want to pull 2 creatures from my deck. I'm going to submit without the judgment. This hand is great. I think it's really easy to over sideboard, and I think playing the Council's Judgment might be over sideboarding. Who's that targeting? It's targeting me. The whole, like, bug Delver boarding into a bunch of Planeswalkers plan is annoying. But we're going to wiggle through it pretty easily. don't think I need to do anything with my recruiter yet. Opponent's probably gonna brainstorm with their Jace. And then do some things that are annoying. I'd rather have information so that I can make proper decisions with my recruiter. I mean, I don't know their hand, but I think they're supposed to like brainstorm with Jace first so they can use the Ponder as a shuffle. So I don't think they're bouncing either one of my creatures right now. Thoughtseize targeting me. Well, that does complicate things a little bit. Do I just like want to put Sword of Fire and Ice in play? Because I can do that. I can activate Stoneforge, hold priority, get Recruiter of the Guard, continue holding priority, get Stoneforge Mystic, put in Sword of Fire and Ice, and let them take my Batterskull. That might be better. I think that's, yeah. In the face of Jace, I think that's better. Alright, you're a fucking Delver deck. You stop this shit. You can request it, but I'm not changing it. I like the Moto sounds to help me keep track of my priority passes, since like they matter so much. It also alerts me when things are going on when I'm like just talking about things in other tabs. I'm debating whether or not I want to like put the Thalia in now and equip it, or whether or not I want to like wait. If I wait and my opponent has something random like the Vendilion Click, I can get punished. But otherwise, they don't have a lot of information about what I can do. I think I want to equip now to play around a Dread of Night type card. I think that's the thing that puts it over the line here for this decision path. It's kind of annoying if they just, like, have an Abrupt Decay, decay the sword, you know, bounce the Thalia, get a Time Walk. So Batterskull's in exile. I think I just, like, go straight for my opponent's throat here. I think I attack them for 6, and then attacking them for 6 plus Stoneforge is lethal. I think I ignore the Jace. I'd have to do 11 to the Jace to kill it, and this aggressive line probably gets me pretty far. I also just, like, want to draw a card more than anything else, because, like, I have some absurd draws like Flicker Wisp. And now my opponent made it so, like, the Thalia on its own is lethal, which is great for me, because I have a removal spell for a blocker. It's kind of frustrating that my opponent has drawn, like, the entire control side of their deck, which is, like, probably almost only the cards that they have boarded in. Like, Lilylast, Deluge, probably Thoughtseize, and Jace are sideboard cards. Maybe Thoughtseize's main deck. It depends on, like, which build they're doing. Alright, that's annoying. Does that change the clock, though? So, this is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is still lethal? Or no, not lethal. This is annoying. No, I don't have any revokers. So I can hit my opponent for 5. I can cast Recruiter. Get a Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp out either Jace or Lily. I can't kill either one this turn. So what is the most valuable thing I can do? Probably preventing my opponent from brainstorming and resetting the Jace. So I think I go cast Recruiter, get Flicker Wisp, go to my end step, Flicker Wisp out Jace, let them kill a Flicker Wisp with Lily Last Hope, leaving me with 3 lethal bodies on board. They can't deluge it away. They can't counter the Recruiter because of Thalia. In before my opponent just, like, fucking casts Damnation. Kicked Marsh Casualties would also do it. God damn it. What the fuck is this shit? Like, seriously. This is absurd. Let me remind you all that this is Bug Delver. My opponent has played almost entirely sideboard cards this game. How do you have everything? It's fine because, like, if I draw any 2-drop or 3-drop creature, I'll just get to, like, potentially lethal them. Yeah, we can beat a Lily Ultimate. If it happens immediately. Do I need to play this land? I think I just keep this in hand in case, like, Jace ultimates and I need another turn. So I need them to bottom, and then... Alright. So I might not be able to win now. I mean, D&T is a terrible matchup for them, but I don't understand how they can get away with playing like all of these cards that they are playing and still expect to close out games. That was frustrating. All right, so be it. We lost. Opponent, like, had a sideboard plan that was very good against us, and only drew sideboard cards all game. Like, I can't beat that. You know, I did my best. But, like, opponent drawing 2 Lily Last Hopes, Jace, Massacre, Push, Thoughtseize, almost at, like, perfect times. Alright, so be it. Alright, we're done for the night. No more magic. That's a sign. Alright, thank you folks. My name was Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University. If you haven't already, check out my article I put up today on the person who got second place at the European Eternal Weekend wrote me a tournament report. It's a really good read. It is very, very insightful. So thank you all for watching tonight. I'll be back on Sunday at some point for a bonus stream. I owe you all a green-white stream. I need to make that happen. And I'm also, 20 or 30 follows away from an Ancient Tomb D&T stream. So if that's something you want to see and you haven't followed already, feel free to follow. Cheers.